Yo, what is good YouTube? I'm Richie Kim, and today I'm going to be bringing you all the performance review on the Nike GT Hustle 3. Before we get started, if you all enjoy sneaker content just like this, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button down below, and also please hit that bell notification button so you never miss another video just like this one. But anyways, let's get right into it. As always, starting off with the traction, the GT Hustle 3 features like this full gum outsole, and you have like almost like a translucent gum outsole kind of. And the pattern on here is basically kind of like a radial pattern. Let me tell you, traction on here is actually surprisingly good. If you are playing on your clean courts, you're going to have a very, very good bite. You're going to be able to stop on a dime. It just bites very, very well on those clean courts. If you are playing on your dustier courts, still have pretty damn good traction. I never had any issues of completely sliding out. Honestly, I didn't even really slide to a stop too much. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that's just because, you know, maybe it's the traction pattern or maybe the rubber itself, but gum outsoles are also very, very good. I used to skate back in the day, and it was always known, it was a well-known thing that, you know, gum rubber outsoles were better than any other type of outsole. And that same thing probably applies to basketball shoes. Gum rubber is just the best. It's the tackiest. And yeah, I really had no issues with this traction setup. If you are playing on your dustier courts, make sure to wipe every so often because it does pick up a little bit of dust, but not that much. So yeah, overall traction on this shoe is very good. I don't know if future colorways are going to feature this gum outsole, but if they don't, you might have a little different experience with the traction. But at least with this colorway, with the gum rubber, traction is solid. Very, very good. So moving on to the cushion, the GT Hustle 3 has an insane cushion setup. You know, Nike just states that they use some type of foam in here, and I really wish I did know what type of foam this was. This could be React, this could be Cushion. I honestly have no idea. But what I will tell you is this thing is very, very comfortable. In the heel, you just have this foam setup. It is very, very impact protection-esque. You feel very, very cushiony in the heel. It's very comfortable, very plush. And then in the forefoot is where it gets a little crazy. You have a forefoot zoom turbo unit as well as these bottom-loaded zoom units on the bottom of the shoe. And this kind of reminds me of the zoom units in the LeBron 15 or 16. It's one of the older LeBron shoes. And yeah, this thing is absolutely crazy. If you want to feel like you're being propelled forward, this is definitely that. Like I said before, the cushion is very plush, more forgiving. In the forefoot, it's extremely bouncy. If that's something that you like, that very, very bouncy feeling, this is definitely the cushion setup for you. This is very, very fun to play in at times, depending on how you want to play. But yeah, this cushion setup is absolutely insane. This is like maximum impact protection, maximum bounce. What you're not going to get out of this is obviously a low to the ground feeling, a responsive feeling shoe. Me personally, I am more of a guard. I play more like a guard, so I have to be quick and shifty. And yeah, I still felt quick in these, but definitely, you know, the response times, it's not the same as playing with something that has a very low to the ground feel. So yeah, I mean, cushion setup in here is still really, really nice. It is way too much for me, but it is still fun in its own way. If you want maximum impact protection, you know, you're an older player or you're a bigger person and you want that, then this is going to be the cushion setup for you. But for me, you know, I wish, you know, obviously the type of cushion setup that I want is almost the complete opposite from this. So moving on to the materials, the GT Hustle 3 features a full Flyknit upper, and the materials are actually pretty damn nice. They are very, very light. It feels very good on foot. And, you know, I personally haven't seen like any durability issues. I mean, if you're gonna use these outdoors and you like drag your toes or something, then yeah, you're definitely gonna have durability issues. But I think as long as you're playing indoors, you really won't have any of those problems. But yeah, this Flyknit pretty much encompasses the whole entire shoe. Moving to the back, you do have like this other textile that wraps around the heel. So moving to the tongue, you do have your standard mesh tongue, and it is adequately padded. So if you do like to crank down your laces, you won't feel the laces digging into the top of your foot, which is awesome. As far as the quality goes, this is pretty much what I would expect from this pricing of a shoe using Flyknit. I'm glad that it's not like super plasticky or anything like that, so it does give it a little bit more premium feel. When it comes to the performance though, it still gets the job done. I would say that, you do feel a little bit of, things that I will explain later in the video. But overall, I would say that the performance of the materials is also pretty good. So yeah, I mean, I can't really complain too much about the material usage on the shoe. So moving on to the fit, I am a slightly wide footer and I went true to size in the GT Hustle 3 and it is damn snug. Like, it is extremely snug when you first put them on. Give it a little bit of time. The materials do break in a little bit, but in my opinion, I would say that the length of the shoe is like slightly short. And then obviously in the forefoot, it is a little bit narrow. I broke in the width. It does feel a lot better now than when I did, when I first originally played in the shoe. But the length, it does still feel just a tad bit short. Not to the point where I would personally go up a half size. So I think if you wanted a snug fit, if you have normal feet, narrow feet, maybe slightly wide feet, going true to size is your best bet. If you do have wider feet, you might want to go up a half size, but just keep in mind, because of how the materials are on this shoe, you might lose some like security, some support because of overall like how the shoe is supposed to fit on your foot. So just keep that in mind. But my personal recommendation would be true to size. Just make sure you do give it some time to break in because it is very, very snug when you first put these on. Besides it actually feeling snug because of like the size of the shoe, I felt like the materials laid very nicely over the foot. I didn't have any dead space up in the toe box area. And what's really weird is they didn't go with like a half booty upper or anything like that on the shoe. The tongue is pretty much disconnected except down here at the bottom, obviously. And you have this lace loop here on the tongue to kind of help, lock the tongue in place. And yeah, I thought I would have issues of the tongue like kind of slipping around and stuff because that's usually the case whenever it's not a half booty upper. But yeah, I mean, the tongue stayed in place. So the fit was overall good. Very, very snug, like I already mentioned. So yeah, overall fit was good in here. Just make sure narrow footers, normal footers, slightly wide footers, you could probably go true to size. If you have wide feet or anything above, going up a half size is probably your best bet. So moving on to the support, I really only had one issue with the support in the GT Hustle 3, which I'll get into in a little bit. But starting off with the heel, you do have an internal heel counter. You do have good heel sculpting. I didn't have any heel slippage in the shoe. Yeah, literally no issues with that department. The containment on the footbed is where I had just a little bit of an issue, just a little bit. So like I mentioned before, this is a full Flyknit upper and it really doesn't have like too much extra stuff to like keep you contained on the footbed. So I will say on very, very hard lateral movements, I could kind of feel my foot shifting off the footbed just a little bit. I never actually rolled over the footbed or anything, which is great. So yeah, I mean, that was really the only issue I had when it comes to the support on the shoe. As far as making those hard lateral movements, you do have this wide base. You do have like these zoom units that protrude out that act as an outrigger to make sure you aren't rolling over as well. You do have a shank in here to make sure that you are covered when it comes to torsional rigidity and stability. So yeah, I mean, overall, the support in the GT Hustle 3 was pretty good. Just like I said, that one minor issue where I felt like slightly like sliding off the footbed, but that's pretty much it. So the Nike GT Hustle 3 retails for $190, and for $190, that is an extremely expensive shoe. And for me personally, this is probably not something that would be in my rotation unless I'm like trying to recover or something and I need a lot of cushion. But for me, this cushion setup is it's way too much for me. I prefer more low to the ground, more responsive feeling shoes, and this is just the complete opposite of that. But if you want something that has good traction, great materials, and like good impact protection, a lot of bounciness, then yeah, I mean, this is probably going to be one of the best shoes for you. I believe Victor Wembanyama is going to be playing in the GT Hustle 3 for his upcoming season, his second season. And yeah, I mean, this is a great shoe, just not great for me. But if this sounds like something that you're interested in, you know, you want that very, very bouncy cushion setup, or very just like plush and comfortable cushion setup, go ahead and pick up a pair of these. You probably will like it. But yeah, just keep in mind, like I said, the only real issue that I had with the shoe is a slight sliding off the footbed on very hard lateral movements. But yeah, outside of that, pretty damn solid. It's just not for me. But that's pretty much it for this performance review. If you all like this video, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button down below, and also hit that thumbs up button for me and leave a comment. Those really do help me out. Check out these videos over here, and that's pretty much it. Until next time, peace.